Hello, welcome back to another presentation. It sure has been a while. Today I'm going to be answering some questions for you in hopes that I can clarify any reasoning I may have had during the production of my magazine. Well, let's get it to it then. My magazine adheres to genre conventions in multiple ways. For example, on the cover there is a masthead, which is practically an unwritten rule. How would an audience know what magazine they are reading if there is no clear indication of it on its magazine? On my cover, there are also a few cover lines which give the audience a gist of what kind of content may be in the magazine. My target audience is very similar to that of Vanity Fair's, which is that of a more mature audience. Vanity Fair's target audience is from around the age of 45, which is my estimated target audience as well. The reason that I decided to increase the age of my target audience to that of middle-aged women is due to the fact that there is a lot of historical fact tied into the different fashion choices. When it comes to color design, I think this can best be shown in my table of contents. Though only in black and white, the spread follows the same theme, whether it be the colors, font type, font size, image placement, and so on. In any magazine with any of the genre magazines you can find, whether it be Vanity Fair, Elle, Cosmopolitan, or Harper's Bazaar, it is without saying that each magazine has a color scheme for each spread, or maybe for the entire magazine issue. My magazine challenges genre conventions mainly when it comes to models. Though it would have been more desirable to have at least 3 models for my magazine, that was simply made impossible for me, not only because the models had complications with meeting pre-scheduled appointments, but also due to this COVID-19 pandemic. This pandemic is probably the first which the Cambridge program may have dealt with, considering all of the changes that needed to be made in order to accommodate all students with a fair and equal opportunity to pass these courses. Antique Magazine represents a few social groups such as the Black community and women. In my magazine, I go on to state a few facts over some accomplishments or tragedies from each decade in which I chose to represent. One example of a feat for both Black people and women was in the 70s section of my feature spread, where I mentioned Shirley Chisholm being the first African American woman to run for president, giving the Black community further hope and equality amongst all in the United States of America. You may find that the common social issue represented in my magazine is that of fashion trends. Though it doesn't talk about what kind of shoes or aesthetics are most popular now, it does divulge into some of the most popular fashion trends from 40 to 50 years ago. Although very brief, a health issue is brought up in the 80s section. HIV. We now have a better control and knowledge over it, yet there is still no cure, and we have remained without a cure for around 40 years or so since we first saw it run rampant, primarily in the gay community. My magazine engages with the audience by offering celebrity point of views as stated in the table of contents. A well-known name or face is bound to attract viewers. It is very true that we tend to gravitate to the opinions of those who tend to hold a higher power within society, such as celebrities. We want to know, what does she do to look so stylish all the time? What is his trick to looking so young after all these years? How does she manage to accumulate so much money? Questions is all we seem to have, and they can be answered, and that curiosity is what is going to further attract viewers to my magazine. Still attributing to that notion, my model is portrayed to be a famous fashion guru, known by many for her impeccable style. Many would want to know her secrets and would want to read further in the magazine. Middle-aged women aren't ancient and surely use some platform of social media. Perhaps Facebook, which happens to be the most popular amongst this age group. Regardless of the platform, I know that in order for a company to thrive nowadays, they would need to connect with their audiences virtually as well as physically, like having magazines also sold at supermarkets right by the cash register, or making public announcements about photo shoots with celebrities for the upcoming issue. I would distribute a magazine issue monthly as to keep viewers waiting enough for the content to be good, but not waiting enough to which they will be tired of doing so and forget of Antique's existence. Thank you so much for watching this CCR 1 and 2 questions video. I hope that it may have cleared some of the many questions you may have had, and I'll see you in my next CCR video. Take care!